The first site to offer true end-to-end real estate transactions online launches Monday. 10X is a rebranding and a reimagining of auction.com, which was already the largest seller of distressed properties on the internet. Joining us now to tell us more is Tim Morse, CEO of 10X and formerly Yahoo's CFO. Welcome, Tim. So tell us, is this the first website where users can fully execute real estate transactions from beginning to end?
That's absolutely correct. We've already been that on the commercial real estate side. And now with the platform we're introducing today that goes live in the beginning of March, for the first time, an actual consumer, whether you're buying or selling, can take all the steps online through to a complete transaction.
So that final legal step of the transaction, the signing at the closing, that doesn't have to be in person?
No, it doesn't. Again, we're a very proven platform. We've done more than $35 billion worth of transactions over our history, and more than 60% of those have been on the residential side. And you can take it all the way through to the final step. Now, you have to have the right people involved, licensed brokers, et cetera. We, for example, are a licensed broker. But I want to make the point very clear that we're also very broker and realtor friendly. We have, in part of this new incarnation of the company, we've developed an awful lot of functionality and good value propositions for commercial brokers and for residential realtors alike.
So how do you get the properties that are offered on the site? I understand you have both residential and commercial. How do you get the listings?
Right. So on the commercial side, we have a nice sales force or business development force that reaches out to the owners, the buyers and sellers of commercial real estate throughout the country. And, you know, that's a pretty set population. And the way a marketplace, online marketplace works is you get one of these flywheels spinning with supply and the demand comes and buyers become sellers, sellers become buyers. You get a nice reinforcing cycle there. On the residential side, we're starting off with our strong partners, the big banks across the country, who have a wonderful portfolio of move-in ready, consumer-ready properties that they are seeding our marketplace with, and we're now adding to that. So that starts one of those flywheels spinning, and we're adding to that direct-to-consumer, looking at people who are already inclined toward for sale by owner. We're working with brokers, realtors in local markets to create more demand. The big banks, they will send us big files of properties to upload all at once. But to appeal to the consumer seller, of course, you need much better functionality, one at a time, take you through a nice, structured, simple process. So that is what we're launching now, and very excited about it.
So this isn't an attempt then to cut out the broker, because I know a lot of people who are selling their own properties would like to cut out the broker.
I want to be where real estate transactions happen, and to me that implies that being that kind of platform implies that you have functionality for everyone. And you might use our platform to a very large extent or to a smaller extent with your own broker, and there are different value propositions for each. But the magic is being on the platform for the workflows, the data, the tools, the analytics that all make it a more empowering, simpler process for everyone. And we have a terrific track record on the access side. If you're a seller, you have great access to buyers, and if you're a buyer, you have great access to properties, and all in a transparent way.
What are the protections in place, though, to prevent criminals from laundering money through the site, through shell companies? I mean, we already know there are problems with this in traditional real estate transactions. Wouldn't moving everything online make it easier for criminals?
Not that we've found on our commercial side, where you're talking about multi-million-dollar transactions. We vet out the owners. There's a complete vetting process, and there is on the residential side too. So we haven't run into that problem at all, and we are very diligent about it.
Now, I can absolutely see buying a commercial property online if you know the history of the building, you know the area. But should you buy something as personal as a home without seeing it in person first? I guess you can't really return it if it doesn't live up to your expectations.
Well, we wouldn't advocate buying a home without seeing it in person. I think there is a very human element to buying a home that will always be there. You're going to want to go and you're going to see what houses are on either side. You're going to see where the neighborhood is located. You're going to look at where the nearest schools are. So we're not advocating that someone would buy sight unseen. I think as technology develops and is on our roadmap, you'll be able to take visual tours through a house online and see all the adjacent properties, et cetera, so you can get a feel for the neighborhood. But I think that is a part of the process. You're going to want to do your homework in person, but that doesn't take away from the fact that the whole transaction
you can then do
and the visibility and the transaction manager is online, right?
Absolutely. So, Tim, what is your outlook for the real estate market in 2016? Are rising rates a concern?
Well, it kind of depends on where mortgages go. From what I've read, people think maybe mortgages will top out 4.5% or so. I think this 2015 was small, flat to some small growth on the residential side, and prices are up 5 to 6%. This year we're looking for probably something fairly similar, maybe something in the 5.3 to 5.5 million home sales on the existing side, but prices will probably be more in the 3 to 4% range, which is a little bit more normal. On the commercial side, we're coming off of a multi-year, kind of tear with price highs in just about every sector, and we see that cooling off a bit, though still growing in 2016.
All right, looking locally at your area there in Silicon Valley, what do you see happening there? Of course, there are always concerns about, could there be a bubble? Will that affect the real estate market? What do you see there?
Well, I gauge these things by my commute to work, which is about 33 miles, and it often takes me more than an hour. I do go across the San Mateo Bridge, but I would say that the traffic is heavy, the restaurants are full, there is an awful lot of innovation in this area, and there isn't any more land being created, and you can't keep up with the pace in terms of creating new houses. So supply and demand would indicate that this is going to stay pretty hot as long as the heart of innovation stays pumping here.
Tim Morse, CEO of 10X, thank you for that.
Thanks for having me.